Test. Test. Should be working either way. Testing? I don't know. See if we can get to maybe 4096 tonight. So that way we're at least half odds for the Bulbasaur. We also got 53 in on the Switch Lite for a Snorlax home. And I believe Charmander is up to 1600. So yeah. That's how we are progressing. And obviously our Manaphy eggs are dwindling because we've been slowly hatching them. So far no shiny. So whenever I do get it, that will be going to my cousin. But I have to find it first. Half the battle. XD and Coliseum will dig out the Espeon and Umbreon controllers, and we'll alternate them when I do like Coliseum XD streams. Specifically, for the most part, probably Coliseum, because, you know, the two starting Pokemon are literally Espeon and Umbreon, so, you know, fits pretty nicely, honestly. I figured the Coliseum XD would eventually hit the Switch, which is why I got those two controllers, because I figured, well, they're obviously eventually going to hit the system, or its successor, and I want controllers that will fit, so, woo. Eventually I'll have to run upstairs and do some dishes. All that fun jazz, because I was cleaning up there and had a lot of stuff that needed to be re-wiped, shall we say. Oh well. I'll rearrange part of this room tomorrow, or when I wake up, whatever you want to say. Actually, since the digital speakers end up going through the whatchamacallit, the star anyway, yeah, I could move those digital speakers over there. Breathing exercises. Deep breath. Honestly, I think as a united mindset, we just stress out about too much. I think we just need to take a step back, take a deep breath, and just not stress so much about life. I mean, yeah, there's obviously things happening, but nothing that we need to lose our heads over. In the end, it's all gonna work out. It's all gonna, you know, work out for the better, because faith, you know? We're not gonna be abandoned and whatever. But faith is important. Same rule can be, you know, applied to shiny Pokemon. Without faith, without the belief that you're gonna find it, without the hard work, effort, and dedication, you're not gonna get anywhere, really. So, if you, the perseverance and the energy and all that, you will eventually find what you're looking for. The same can be applied to life, too. Sometimes we rely too much on our own strength, and we should look to the divine for energy. Because the divine is powerful. They care about you. And there may be roadblocks, there may be obstacles, there may be things you need to overcome. Sometimes you need to take a deep look in yourself and figure out what you need to fix. Or, like I said, ask the divine for, intuition, wisdom, guidance, energy, whatever you want to call it. But they will help you. You just gotta have a willing heart and be willing to listen. It is the willing and open hearts that they're able to work the most through. Positive energy, positive thinking, openness to things, openness to spirituality, Look at me being philosophical. But it is important. Very important. We all need to get back to our roots. And I pray that you all find the path to enlightenment, the path to light, the path to the divine, to live that perfect life you've always wanted to, dreamed of. Because living a life of loneliness and darkness, it sucks. Been there, still overcoming a little bit, but you'll make it through. I know you will. Each and every one of you. Big question is, where do I put all the dishes once I get them done? There's so much that needs to be done up there. That's just the upstairs. I'm not even talking about my room yet. I mean, it's to a point where I have all my stuff in one room that I still need to condense. And I have the energy, whatever that is, maybe a little bit tomorrow. Still find it funny though, in Coliseum, the first game of the Shadow Pokemon series, Espeon and Umbreon are shiny locked, but in the sequel, the Star Eevee you get can be shiny, and you can basically immediately evolve it as soon as you get to gauge your own port and level it up. You can evolve it into an Espeon, an Umbreon, a Jolteon, a Vaporeon, or a Flareon. And essentially, I feel like the evolutions are kind of like your choosing of a skill level, so to speak. Not only that, but having a Espeon, Umbreon, Jolteon, Vaporeon, or Flareon that early in the game, like, it's really cool, honestly. But what I think is backwards about it is, like, the MSO versions of Colosseum XD, apparently you can't trade the Pokemon out, you can't send them home or anything as of the current moment. That might change, but like, that's so confusing to me, because like, why not just make it so that it can transfer, so that people don't have to go all the way back to the GameCube, take it from the GameCube to the DS, to the DS to the 3DS, to the 3DS to Pokemon Home, and then from home to Gen 8 or upwards, you know? Gen 9 upwards, Gen 10 upwards. Like, it's so backwards. Like, maybe they're waiting for Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, which I kinda get, but why not just release them first, you know? Like, Ruby and Sapphire literally came out before Fire Red and Green. Like, I get that it's Pokemon Day, and you want to celebrate the 30th year anniversary, you know, that's cool and all, but why not at least make things compatible, you know? I don't understand. And a Pokemon that sometimes they have some very backwards logic. Like, it's cool that Colosseum XD are on the MSO, but I would have rather them been either standalone purchases or like put them on the Switch 2 as a double pack, you know? 2 classic games for maybe $60, you know? Yeah, it would have been kind of a hefty price tag, but 2 GameCube games, possibly them even including the bonus discs, with all that, you know, would have been cool, but I digress. I really hope that last Bulbasaur wasn't shiny. I was not paying attention. Well, if it was, I'm gonna have to rehunt it anyway, so fun. Oh well. Because that might have been lime or green. I will have to watch the stream now and find out. Yay! Wouldn't be the first time I failed something. Maybe we'll even do some Feebas tonight, I don't know. Might do some Fiones to get it to a more even number. I'll take over, probably hatch the first 16 eggs and then let the auto controls do the rest. Some point, the dishes up there. for a specific reason, so I'm sure eventually that'll be revealed. Eventually, though, I think we'll end up catching a shiny, and we'll name it, you know, Faith itself. Like maybe, no, if I did a third playthrough of, like, say, BDSP and Arceus, maybe we do that. I think that would be kind of cool, catching a shiny Arceus and naming it Faith. Hey, kitty, kitty. I see you. At least your outline. Your shadow. My little fuzzballs. One of these streams, I gotta put their names up on the screen, maybe with some pictures of them. One of these days I should try some G Fuel. One I'd really like to try is like the Doomslayer one. That's supposed to be like I think a pomegranate or something. It was the tie-in with like Doom Dark Ages. He had a special little drink canister thing, and then a tub of G Fuel and some other stuff. It was pretty cool, honestly. I wanted to pre-order one, but I never did. Also, it didn't make sense to me that they did the pre-orders for it after the game came out. Like, you would think, if you're gonna, you know, make something to promote the game, you would tie it in sooner, you know, before the game launches, that way, or around the same time, that way the two would, like, correlate, but I don't know. Sometimes, like I said, another case of things that just don't make sense. Or maybe I was just reading a date or something, I don't know. But, yeah. Stretch. Three. Might take a break at like 3,600. But the aim is to at least try to get Bulbasaur up to 4,096. Or as close as we can to that. It's funny, in Yu-Gi-Oh, though, the original animated series, like say, Battle City, for example, if Joey had a strong monster on the field, and Kaiba, Yugi, or Merrick had their, god card on the field, Obelisk, Slifer, Raw, whatever, if Joey had a decent monster, rolled a 6, wouldn't really have mattered what Joey's monster was. His monster could have attacked, and if they had no block, because the graceful dice multiplies the roll of the dice by the monster's attack, say Joey rolls 6, well, let's say take Red Eyes for example. 2,400 times 6, that's more than enough to wipe out a duelist's life points, obviously, So that is a what-if scenario where Joey could have theoretically beat any of them, or all of them, and, gained some of the most powerful cards in duel monsters. I'm Honestly, I hope one day we get to see a rematch between, like, Keith and Joey or something. Or some other classic duelists. Because it'd be kind of interesting to see how the duel would play out. Say, maybe they had 8,000 life points and more modern summoning mechanics, more modern rules, how that duel would, you know, play out, how it would shape, how it would change. It'd be interesting. Especially with all the new field spells and equips and fusions and exceeds and all that stuff. That could change a lot, honestly. Especially the field spell for Keith, Heavy Metal Raiders. Because I think if your machine takes damage but isn't destroyed, it gains like a power boost, or maybe it's if it inflicts damage or something. see if I can make a macro for this. So that way all I have to do is type in the buttons. Okay. Let's get it. Not that. Go here. Go there. And now we'll grab the controller. Yeah. There we go. L and R. Press A. Alright. We'll do one more. Probably set the macro up for right here. Alright, so we need to update current macro. And then set new and do a bunch of these. Reset. And then we need to very quickly get through these stuff. It's already not recording, is it? Probably not. I did this right. If so, then I can just literally sit here, watch it happen, and then push the button. Reset. So far, so good. Looking promising. Okay. As long as I keep the controller right next to me and I pay attention to what's going on, we basically have a macro set up for resetting Bulbasaur. Woo! Which means human has to do very little. I picked the perfect time, apparently, to start the macro. Alright. Now, the important part about this is that if I see a shiny, I need to immediately shut it off, or we are going to be resetting for quite a long time to get it back. So, obviously, human paying attention is very important. Alright. I think one button interrupts it, but we'll push 2 just in case. But yeah, this literally... Oh, this is awesome. I can just sit here and watch it happen. Oh, this is awesome. Big brain moment. Aptosaurs, Aptosaurs, Aptosaurs. Oh. This is awesome. So I can see better. But yeah, if you guys have ever been at Walmart and you see the ONN cheap little $20 controllers with macro controls, I highly suggest you get one if you want to do something like this. It's really simple. Obviously, you want to set up the macro for after you've picked your starter. Set up the button combination, quickly get back to where you choose it again, get back to the empty table, and then lock in your macro, and you can pretty much do this. So let's see. 14. This is awesome. We can literally just chat while this is hunting a Bulbasaur, a Charmander, a Squirtle, a Snorlax, an Articuno, a Zapdos, a Moltres, a Mewtwo. I'm excited to see if I can eventually get this to the point where it can hunt Mew. Like if Mew's released on this, and like, dude, if I can figure out how to macro Mew, dude. That's gonna be awesome. Like, if I ever figure out how to macro Mew, like with control scheme, I will let you guys know. Because, yeah. honestly, my thought process is like, you would probably turbo the B button, and then macro the rest of the controls. Because, like, if it's turboing the B button, it'll be holding down the run button. Then you just run into the Mew, do the short little halfway, run from it, go out, do it again, and then go back to the starting point and then lock in the macro. And you should be good after that. Like, I'm definitely gonna attempt that, just to see if it would work. Because, like, that worked. Like, we might actually be at the point where we can macro any Gen 3 Pokemon, which would be amazing, because that means you can hunt anything with a controller. I mean, I get the people that want to do it themselves, but at the same time, that opens up your day so much. You don't have to sit there and reset. You could literally just have auto controls, you know, take over for you, and you can go live your life, you know? Like, macro controls are amazing. And this is probably also how I'm gonna do, like, runaway encounters. We're gonna macro them. Or, if not macro, then we will set up basically a set of string, little string of commands, whatever you want to say, for, like, continuous sweet scent use, and then just run from the encounter. We'll have the Pokemon run away in the front, probably a fainted Illuminator, and then we'll just keep doing the cycle until it finds a shiny. One of these strains. It's gonna be amazing. What would be even cooler, though, is if we had a shiny Illuminator. You know? Ooh, even better. Shiny Illuminator and shiny Runaway. But then again, that might take up a lot of time, so maybe not the Runaway one. I mean, I'm sure we'll eventually find a shiny Rattata. Or Rattata. However they say it nowadays. I swear back in the day it was a Rattata. And then somehow it got an extra Tata or something. I don't know. But yeah. We have our Bulba automated. So, when the Bulba conveyor belt system gives us our shiny, cool. Oh, that would be so funny if someone automated, or made a video of it getting automated. That'd be hilarious, dude. I mean, that's essentially what we're doing right now. We have the controls set up to literally play the game. All we have to do is pay attention if there's a shiny. And I can stop the auto controls and relaunch them at any time. So I'm gonna keep this locked into that button set. Dude, we're gonna get so many shiny starters with this. Oh, this is awesome. The only bad side is I have to actually pay attention. I can't just, like, set this up and do something else, because there's the potential it might, like, reset over a shiny, but I mean, that's the problem with any sort of macro controls. You literally have to pay attention. And if I ever, like, redo the macro, like that ending part where it's on the starter screen, I might wait like a couple more seconds before hitting the reset combination. That way I have more time to react, sort of thing, you know? But yeah, tonight might be the night we get Bulbasaur. Especially with me not literally having to do anything. Oh, genius idea. I knew it was possible, I just hadn't figured out how to do it yet. But something in the back of my mind was telling me, hey, set it up after you picked your starter. You know? And what a genius idea that was, because it worked. Which means I can use the same macro for Charmander. In theory, there should be no difference. Just maybe the speed of the system itself. You gotta love automation. Oh, that's so cool. Send the Bulbasaurs down the conveyor belt. Send the Bulbasaurs down the conveyor belt. One of the 8192 Bulbasaurs will be a shiny. Is this one? Oh, being all goofy like. Nope, not that one. Ready, just in case we need to emergency stop a reset. So far, not yet. Hi, kitty. Oh, kitty. I see you. Meow. Daddy's working right now. I'll pet you later. I love you, though. Meow. Can you imagine this style setup for like a Nuzlocke? It'd be so good for them. Because all they'd have to do is just set it up and wait. Like it would free up a lot of their time. Because instead of having to do it all manually, you could literally just set the program button combinations, lock it in, and then see when you know, your target, or, well, again, bleh. I guess for Nuzlockers it wouldn't matter unless they're doing like a shiny badge, like shiny Badgequest people and other people, it would help, but I guess in Nuzlocke terms it wouldn't exactly help, but, Which means we might be able to use this on the shiny Magikarp. Can you imagine if that works? Oh, that'd be amazing. Dude, if this works on the Magikarp, I'm gonna laugh. Like, that is gonna be hilarious, and it probably will too, because I'm pretty sure it takes less than a minute to get that Magikarp. You just say yes a couple times, hit B, and then check the summary screen. And then do a quick little run through of the, like, starter menu and everything like that. So, yeah. So we'll probably be able to use it with Magikarp, with maybe some fossils, with, well, with the fossils we'll have to probably do only one or two at a time. We could probably use it with Hitmonchan, Hitmonlee, the legendary Pokemon. We might even be able to macro like a Deoxys and stuff. Dude, if we could macro Deoxys, that would be legendary. Super cool if we could do that. But yeah, just the fact that we literally have the game playing itself. Like, how cool is that? And for any of you people that can figure out macros, you can pretty much copy this general setup, and then everyone can start macroing their shiny starters. Who knows? Macroing might be the way of the future for shiny starters in Gen 3. Because honestly, as long as you're paying attention, it's not a bad setup. It might be slightly slower than doing it yourself, but at least you can turn it off when you want to. And to an extent, it frees you up so that you don't necessarily have to watch the screen. Shiny. battles. I think we will, actually. Yeah, Sweet Scent. Yeah, Sweet Scent Safari Zone Hunt. Once we get closer to that point. I think it starts around May to June. So I'd like to be that far in the game, at least one of them, to where I could do that. I would hope it would be this file, but we will see how that ends up working out. Because obviously it's going to take us a little bit to find said shiny, with the odds being only 8192. We could always do it on the Switch Lite Blastoise file, which we're pretty close to being at the Koga area. We just gotta knock a few gym leaders out of the way, and our team's getting pretty strong in that file. 8. Blastoise have Bite and Mega Kick for, you know, Sabrina's Pokemon. But if I save up some in-game cash, we could get Ice Beam. We could get Flamethrower, Thunderbolt to power up the team on that side. And just have a all-around good, well-rounded arsenal for that. And funnily enough, 4 Kanto Gym Leaders now have a Mega. Brock has, you know, Mega Steelix, obviously. Misty has, you know, Mega Starmie. Surge has Mega Raichu. And Erica has Mega Victreebel. So, half of the, you know, Kanto Gym Leaders, like I said, now have a Mega. What the other half would end up getting. Blaine would probably be Arcanine. Who knows what Giovanni would get if he even ever did get a Mega. Well, no, technically, they could work it so he had Mega Mewtwo. So that's 5 out of the 8. Blaine, like I said, could get Arcanine. Let me think. Koga, they could give him a Mega Venomoth, maybe. That's kind of his signature. And then... who am I forgetting? Sabrina has Alakazam, so she could just have Mega Alakazam. I think that covers it all. They, you know, added a few Megas to the Kanto region. As for the Elite Four, I think a really cool Mega would be like a Mega Dugong for, you know, Lorelei. Bruno, I kind of like to see like a Mega Machamp or a Mega Golem. Obviously Agatha would have Gengar. Lance would probably either have Dragonite or Aerodactyl as his, well, Dragonite, Aerodactyl, or Charizard as his Mega. And the rival would obviously have something random between all of the creatures he collects. But yeah, I get the weird feeling like we're gonna see a Legends Johto, and the GS Ball is gonna play a role in that. Like, I don't know, I just get that feeling. Like, it's been a while since we've seen Johto, it's on a new system. Last time we saw Johto was on the DS. It's, you know, several generations later. And obviously we'll get something black and white related eventually, but I feel like we're gonna end up going to Johto first, if you catch my drift. And I do agree, we do need to eventually, you know, run into Unova stuff, because they need their spotlight too. They've been a while, probably 10-ish years, maybe longer. Really flesh it out. Really big environments and stuff. They ever do bring back the Poke Radar. I hope they back the Poke Radar. I hope they kind of simplify it though, because like the thing is so complicated to use in my opinion. There's so much you gotta remember with it, and even if you do everything right, you can still have it, like, basically mess up on you. That's kind of why I prefer the Dex Nav. It was much easier to use. I really hope they bring back the Dex Nav. Maybe for Winds and Waves. That'd be great. One of my preferred shiny hunting methods, just for the simple ease of use. Getting up there. Just waiting for that teal border to show up. Flying Bulbasaur and that golden star. No hands required! Like I said, it's literally playing itself. Which is so very nice. I think a neat challenge would be if someone used the team for like this type of combination. So basically it's controller, but too bad it wasn't Heart Gold, Soul Silver, where the starters would literally show up right as you're picking them. But yeah, the fact that we could just hook it up and have it do training is amazing. Might even be able to do the I don't know about the legendary beast hunt. It might not be able to do that. that probably would take too many combinations, plus it only records up to, I want to say around a minute of button inputs. So the fact that it can do this, though, is pretty cool. Which means I probably could set this up for that Snorlax one. I'm thinking about getting like 1 or 2 more of these controllers for use for that. Actually, I might get at least 1 more, because if I get both files to Deoxys and then I set the controls to auto hunt Deoxys, then I could literally up the counter by 2 every time it, auto resets, and then we just sit back and watch the magic happen. One of the easiest things to set up. If I was to go from now till probably around 4 AM, we probably could get it up to, if not 4096, darn near close. Unless Bulbasaur wants to be nice and be shiny early, then that's an entirely different story. But so might not do it tonight, Considering the journey you just went on, I should probably take an intermission soon and go deal with that. So probably once we hit 3,700, we'll take an intermission and I will go mess up the dishes. So currently, this is actually the best version of Fire and Leaf Green for multiple reasons, but the fact that the event items are built in and you can use, macro controls that essentially lets you do so many more things with shinies than you could before.